Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. Today it's not a pistol, interestingly. Today I'm going to be showing you the Tokyo Marui MWS platform and some of the parts that we are producing for that. As you'll be able to see down here, there's actually a carbon fibre outer barrel in there. I'll go into that in a future video. We're just finishing testing those and making sure they work. Today I'm going to be showing you our simple kit here, which effectively is our MWS DMR kit. So, kit comes with 4 components. What you've got is a hop nub here. This is a concave hop nub. I use it with a maple leaf bucking. Bucking that I use is great. It works for 0.3s at normal sight limits, allowing me to have full auto. Also, it enables me to hop a 0.4 with the same bucking, same barrel setup if I want to swap to a DMR and increase the power. I'm going to cover off how to install that as part of the hop unit when I talk through one of the barrels in the future videos. We have 2 nozzles here. They give slightly different powers, but the key one for this video as well is our Selector, which is a semi-only selector. So, Tokyo Marui gas boat back platform is a platform that is a safe, semi and full auto capable platform. You have a mod that you can do where you take the existing selector, file a part down, and it limits it to semi. I've done this in the past. It can still go to full auto, but it just won't engage the auto sear. Fine, but if I wanted to change back to a auto capable selector, I found it quite difficult to remove it, and also there's the cost of buying a selector just to file it. So what we've done is made a new selector. Today, to remove it, what we do is we cock the rifle and we put pressure on the back here. As we put pressure on the back, you need to wiggle the selector, technical wiggle here, between semi and safe, keeping that pressure, and you'll see it starting to pop out the body. Grab it when you can, pull it out. What you'll see here is 2 things. You will see there is a silver part of the trigger group that sits proud, coming up from the bottom here. And on this side, you've got the detent pin coming in from the other side. So take your selector, and this is our semi-only selector, it says semi on it, and you pop it in. Put pressure on it from this side. And again, we're trying to aim this somewhere between safe and semi. So I use a flat bladed screwdriver for this. What I'm going to do is pop that in, and I just popped the trigger down out the way. Dead simple, push it down. Remember that your rifle needs to be cocked for this. Again, we're now up against the detent pin. Again, aiming it between semi and safe, rocking it slightly. Push the detent pin in, put pressure, and there we go. That is your selector in. It is safe, semi-capable, will not go to auto. Works exactly as you would expect it to. So, again, if you want to swap it back, pressure on the other side and pull it out. It comes out that quick. Pop it back in. Swapping selectors should not be difficult, unless you're filming yourself doing it, in which case it's a nightmare. But there we go. That's in. So the second part of today's video, we need to take our bolt assembly out the rifle. So break apart your rifle and take out the complete bolt. Sorry, that was me getting rid of my rifle. And then what we need is our bolt assembly. So for this, you're going to need a Phillips screwdriver, and you're going to need 2 nozzle parts here. One says 0.8, the other says 1.0 on it. The 0.8 will give you slightly higher FPS than the 1.0. On a 0.3, using ASG Ultra Air, I get 320 on a 3, so 1.4 joules. Or I get 310 on a 0.4, that's some nice joule creep. And that's 1.8 joules. That's with ASG Ultra Air. If you're using black gas, that might increase. So the valve number 1.0 will give you, it'll help bring that down a bit. So first off, we need to remove the 2 screws here and here in the top of the bolt. take those out and pop them to the side. And that's that done. Now we're going to pinch this top black part here, pinch it up, and as you do that, don't lose the spring. Pinch it up, push it forward just a little bit as far as it'll go, keeping it up at the back, and then just hook your finger in the back and pop out the back here. That's what helps capture the nozzle return spring. Then you can push the whole lot forwards, lifting it over the top of the bolt, and it'll come out with the nozzle. So then we've got our nozzle assembly here, and in the top there is a screw. So we're going to remove that one screw, small cross head, but it's a long screw. It goes all the way through the bolt from one side, through the nozzle, sorry, from one side to the other. Bear with me. So I find it easier just to start it off and then actually just pop it out. There we go. And then grab the spring, and we're sort of just popping the spring out. On a Tokyo Marui one, if you're using the top stock Tokyo Marui setup, you will have a piece of tube that sits inside this spring, and the idea is it stops it over compressing when it brings the nozzle backwards. I've swapped for DP parts in here. Give it a tap, and there's your spring. We don't need the stock nozzle, sorry, stock valve. I'm going to get my 0.8 valve because that's what I want for me, and fit it on the spring. We then go spring first, in to the bottom. On the nozzle return spring here, you've got a hole here at the top. And what we're doing is pushing this back into the nozzle assembly, keeping the hole upright because that's what we have to line up with here. So as we do it, we just push it in forwards and give it a little wiggle, bear with me. Keep the pressure on the back edge there. The screw in, and then tighten the screw down. Don't want to over tighten it, just go as far until like it's pinched up. You are screwing into plastic, you don't want to strip that thread. We now know that's locked in, and we can see our new valve here in the bottom showing through. So take your bolt, slide your nozzle back in part way, and then rest that on top, and then you're hooking that in and over, and it all lines up. The bit that you've got to do when you push it in is, this is the only bit that I would say, for me, I find difficult, is you need to put this retaining clip back underneath this part to hold the nozzle return spring in place. There we go. Take your two screws and just pop those in. There could be a different order, a different way of doing this. This is the way that I found works for me. It means that I'm not fighting spring tension while I'm doing things. And that's my two springs, the two screws back in. The only bit we've then got is this last spring. To make this easier, push the top part of the nozzle. This is effectively serves two functions. It stops the nozzle shooting too far forward. It's like you could catch on the nozzle, but it also has a damper function in it as well, which I think is just to help slow that nozzle and catch it so it doesn't hit a hard stop. And that's where the spring comes in. So push this to the back, pop the spring in the hole, push it down. Again, I will use a little flat blade here and just hook it in, and you're just trying to push it in and down and catch it on the pin in there. And there we go. That is in. So return that to your rifle and you are good to go. That is our install video showing you how to install the higher power valve and the semi-only selector for the Tokyo Marui MWS. If you get a chance, if you like our videos, if you've got any feedback on our videos, again, these are just sort of tutorials to show you how to install the parts. Drop a comment below or find us on Instagram. Thank you very much.